you guys are all probably well aware of by now. I do a lot of traveling between Montgomery, Alabama and Opp, Alabama. Today, in this video, this is a true crime story, and this story actually connects the two cities, Montgomery and Opp. It's a sad story. It's really crazy. Today, we're going to be talking about the recently solved cold case on the murder of Kimberly Mulder. I am starting this video out today. I'm actually just a couple miles north of my home in Montgomery, and in July of 2016, Kimberly Mulder and her husband, they lived right here in the Wildwood subdivision or community here off of Redland Road. Now, on July the 11th of 2016, Kimberly Mulder left her home with a friend to go to Birmingham, Alabama, to go do some shopping. Birmingham is a really big city, widely known for its giant mall that's called the River Chase Galleria, and it's a place where a lot of people go shopping. So she left her home to go shopping with a friend. Kimberly Mulder has not been seen since she left that night. Now, Kimberly's husband, his name was Thomas Whitehurst. Kimberly and Thomas, they were originally married in 2007, and then they divorced again in 2013. And then the 3 years between 2013 and her disappearance in 2016, they lived together on and off. It seemed like a toxic situation. As you probably all know by now, in these type of situations, the spouse is usually the first person they look at. So after Thomas called and reported her missing, investigators started digging into their background. They went through all of their domestic calls that had ever been made to their house. They went through their home and their cars, and police actually found blood in the back of Thomas Whitehurst's car and in their home inside of their garage. Thomas had no explanation for it. He told him he didn't know where it come from. Detectives actually left on the original day of the report. They left suspecting that Thomas had done something to Kimberly Mulder, but there was no proof. They needed to find Kimberly. They needed to find more evidence. Thomas wasn't charged with anything, and the police they kept searching. After a few months, the search parties finally moved on to other missing people. The detectives moved on to other cases they had, and Kimberly's disappearance investigation went cold.
Human remains found on a remote trail.
State Forest fire staffers setting fires for a controlled burn have found skeletal remains in a wooded area. The remains were found shortly after 2 p.m. Monday.
We're going to jump ahead now, 5 years into the future, 5 years after Kimberly's disappearance, and 125 miles away from the Wildwood subdivision here. Now, I told you in the intro that the story had something to do with not only Montgomery, but also Opp, Alabama, or more specifically, Covington County, which Opp is in Covington County, Alabama. So, in March of 2020, in the very southern tip of Covington County, forest rangers who were working in this section of the Conecuh National Forest here, they stumbled across a skeletal human remain just laying in the woods. It was right out here in the woods. It was about 75 yards off the trail here. The forest rangers quickly stopped what they were doing and called the Covington County Sheriff's Department, and they obviously came to the scene and started a crime scene. They noted that the remains appeared to have been dumped out here in the woods. They weren't concealed, they weren't buried, they were just dumped out here and no one noticed. So the Covington County Sheriff's Department then sent those remains back to Montgomery, to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences here, so that they could be identified. It took an entire year. They found the remains over there in the forest in March of 2020, and we're now in April of 2021, and this happened a couple weeks ago, or at the end of March. So one whole year exactly. It took them an entire year to identify those remains. And just a couple of weeks back now, they were 100% identified as Kimberly Mulder.
Long search for a missing Elmore County woman has come to an end with the positive identification of her remains and the arrest of a suspect. 65-year-old Thomas Whitehurst is behind bars, charged in connection with the 2016 disappearance of his ex-wife, Star Mulder.
The autopsy report showed that she had been shot one time directly in the center of her forehead with a small caliber gun. They noted in that autopsy that it appears as if after she was shot, she was driven to the Conecuh National Forest, where they dumped her, where she laid out there in the elements for 5 years without anyone finding her. The detectives who were working on Kimberly's case 5 years prior immediately picked it right back up again so that they could try to fill in those blanks. They discovered that Kimberly's on-again, off-again husband, Thomas Whitehurst, actually had connections in Covington County. On March the 23rd of 2021, as Thomas Whitehurst was leaving his Wildwood home, police were waiting. They surrounded him and arrested him and charged him with Kimberly Mulder's murder.
Developing news out of Elmore County this afternoon. The suspect in the 2016 disappearance and homicide of a Wetumpka woman made his first court appearance this morning. The defendant, Thomas Whitehurst, is accused of shooting his ex-wife in 2016. Her remains were found in the Conecuh Forest last year and identified this week.
Now, because this just all came about in the last couple of weeks, they have not released all of the evidence that they have against him, besides the fact that they found the blood in the home, in the car, and that he had connections to Covington County. They obviously want to keep all of that, tight-lipped until they can take it to trial. And obviously, it'll be a year or two before he actually goes to trial. So maybe by the time it actually gets into the court system, all of that information will come out. All I can say is when it does, I will do an update to this story because it's despicable and it's crazy. We'll see where it goes from here. That is going to do it for this video today on Kimberly Mulder. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, go down and hit that subscribe button. Then hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you want to help support the channel, there's links in the description box below. You can help with that as well. That's much appreciated, and it helps us keep making videos like this. Thank you all. I will see you again tomorrow. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Much love to you all.